Session we are going to deal with the lecture number 4 and 5 in the second unit. The fourth and fifth lectures deal with statistical quality control and the four types of charts which are going to be dealt are X chart, R chart, P chart and C chart. These are the four types of chart which we are going to deal with. Now, the statistical quality control is a term used to describe the set of statistical tools used by quality professional. Why do we use statistical quality control and where this statistical quality control is used more? The statistical quality control is used in the organizations like pharmaceuticals, where we would be producing the product in a huge quantity. We would be producing the product in a huge quantity, and while producing such a huge quantity, we may fail to check the complete quality of each and every product. So, when such a huge quantity are being manufactured, we would try to enable the statistical control tools which automatically checks the quality of by a batch, and if that quality is within the limits, then that particular control gets passed on. That means that will be selected for the purpose of selling, whereas the one which does not suits into that particular level will be removed for the purpose of the sales, and it will be again made to in the same process of the raw material, and it would be reused as such, right. So, in general, wherever the quality does not get through by the quality control, then there we use actually the process of eliminating, and we would try to do the limits of the quality, and we try to make the observation of the quality through the automation of the system, which is called as statistical quality control. And the meaning of statistical is, for selecting that control, for selecting that particular control, we actually, right, for selecting this particular control, we actually use the different types of tools. We use the different types of tools like mean, median, mode, standard deviations and other aspects in terms of calculating the control process as such. So, the statistics where we are applying about the mean and the range and the standard deviation, where we would be selecting based upon those tools as such. Okay. Now, coming to the history of the statistical quality control, it was been first and foremost, right, it was been first and foremost defined by Shewhart in Bell Laboratories in the years of 1920. Statistical quality control was been defined by Shewhart, right, by at Bell Laboratories in the years of 1920s. He developed the chart in 1924 and the concept of statistical control. Right. In the year of 1924, the development of the chart was being done and the statistical control was being defined as such. Okay. He actually made a number of control charts. Like now, this charts, while being seen by a common employee who is working in an organization, by seeing that particular chart, they would be easily able to recognize or easily able to identify that which particular which particular products are within the limit and which particular products which are produced beyond the limit or below the limit. That makes the enability of the process what we understand by statistical quality control as such. Okay. Now, the next following to the Shewhart, it was the Edwards Deming who has actually, it was Edwards Deming who has made the process of the more important, who are given more importance for the statistical quality control. The importance of the statistical quality control was being given to a very high level by the person Deming, and it was being implemented in the World War II, by the Americans as such in the military organizations. So, though the presence of the statistical quality control was before those years, the importance of the statistical quality control has been very high or known to common all the people after the years of the World War II, where the control defined by Fleming, right, the Edwards Deming has been known more importantly through the application of that control in the military operations of American in the World War II as such. Okay? Right. Now, he traveled to Japan, right? He traveled to Japan to understand about the process. So, the actual quality control was being from the Japanese, and that was being implemented in USA as such. And this combination of the Japanese principle, not only the statistical control, but there are number of such type of quality control tools like Kaizen, 5 years, number of the tools are there, and TQM. This all the quality control tools are mostly from the Japanese people. Why I am saying this is, the Japanese people are more focused with the quality products or quality process than compared to other countries as such, right. Now, that is the reason I am mentioning about the people of Japanese, not only the statistical quality control, but also the other quality control tools like quality circles, total quality management, 5 years, Kaizen, all this type of quality control tools are also evolved from the country Japanese as such. All right. Statistical quality control categorizes into 3. Now, the categorization is into 3, which is, right, which is descriptive statistics and statistical quality control process and acceptance sampling. All these 3 are important. All these 3 are important. These 3 are the one which will define the statistical quality control. That means, to control a particular quality in any of the organization, to control a quality in any of the organization, we actually need to calculate the descriptive statistics. Then we need to make the process of the limits, upper limit, lower limit and the middle limit, that is statistical process control, and what is the sample size which we are going to accept it, right. So, under the descriptive statistics, what all will be there? Under the descriptive statistics, the concepts will be mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, range. Now, these are the 6, right? These are the 6 areas or 6 functions which are there in the descriptive statistics, which describes about the sample or which describes about the sample which we have taken. Now, describing about that sample or describing about that particular sample can be with any mode. mode, can be with any mode means it can be through mean, it can be through median, mode, standard deviation, variance and range. Mostly with related to statistical quality control, we take the mean, we take the standard deviation and we take the range. These are the three which are used in the control charts. These are the three which are used in the control charts. Though the remaining mode, this one, median, mode and variance are part of the descriptive statistics, though the more commonly used tools in the descriptive statistics with related to statistical quality control are mean, standard deviation and range. These are the three. Okay. Now, after we do this, then the statistical process control will come into the play. That is, the statistical quality control will identify the limits, that is upper control limit and lower control limit, and the other one, it is the central limit, and upper control limit, lower control limit and the central limit. Now, this limit, right, this limit, that is above this and below this, above this and below this. So, here whatever the sample we have been selecting, now this particular limit under the statistical process control, if a product after taking it, so if it comes here, if it lies anywhere in between this and this, right. Now, what does that mean is, whatever the limits are beyond the upper control limit, whatever the products are below the lower control limit has to be rejected, right. Now, this whole process is been defined by the statistical process control. This whole process is been defined by statistical process control. Now, finally, under the acceptance sampling, now whatever the limit I have defined, now this limit lies with the, right, this limit lies with the company, upper control limit, and the lower control limit. What this area is there, no, wherever this area is there, no. So, I have been accepting the sampling. Suppose if I take 100 milligrams of the tablet, deviation accepted is 102 milligrams of the tablet, 98 grams of tablet. That means, if I have defined the central limit as 100, upper control limit will be 100 plus 2, that is 102, and the lower control limit will be 100 minus 2, which is 98. So, anything between 98 and 102, I accept the product. Now, in this 102, 98, the sample size which I take while selecting it, I may take 10 products in a lot, 100 products in a lot, or 1000 products in a lot. Based upon that, and this limit whatever is there, sample, I would try to take the decision whether the limit can be produced by the company or not. If, say for example, in case of this 100 milligram, the companies like Reddy's Laboratory will be definitely quality oriented company, and they would be able to limit the product within the quality requirement. But if you see some other company which is a new company, they may not produce the product in a very good quality as such. So, they may not accept or they may not produce the product in this quality limit. So, what is that they do? They make the limits at a more higher level, maybe 105 on the higher side and 95 on the other side. That means, they take a huge change from the central limit on the higher side and from the central limit on the lower side. That means, they themselves have been not restricted to more quality, they have deviated from the more quality. Reason is that their company is not or it cannot produce the product in the confined quality parameters, right. Now, descriptive statistics are used to describe quality, right, describe quality and characteristics and relationship, because by that we understand about whether we are supposed to reject or supposed to accept the product. Now, quality is been described and this quality is been understood whether to be accepted or to be rejected in the organization. So, clearly describe, that is nothing but descriptive statistics, the data which we have taken, the data which we have collected of the samples, right, data which has been collected of the sample, that data is described by using descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics, right, by using descriptive statistics. So, you can understand that descriptive statistics, the data is been collected from the sample and that data is being explained by using the descriptive statistics, right. That is the purpose of descriptive statistics as such. Okay. Now, what are they? See, as we have seen already, as per the descriptive statistics, we have the 6 parameters. We have 6, that is, we have mean, we have mode, we have median, we have variance, we have standard deviation and we have range. These are the 6 which are there in the descriptive statistics. Okay. But which is the one we have? We have the mean and we have the range and we have the standard deviation as the descriptive statistics to identify the control limits, statistical quality control limits. So, under the statistical quality control limits, so we use exclusively the mean, we use the standard deviation and range. We use exclusively these 3, that is mean, that is the range and that is the standard deviation. Other than that, there are mode, median and variance as per the descriptive statistics, but they are not been that used in making the statistical quality control analysis. Okay. Now, what is mean? Mean is the measure of central tendency. Mean is the measure of central tendency. What do we mean by that? The central tendency means, for example, if I take 3, should be divided by how many? 5. When I divide it, whatever the value comes, 4.6. Now, this value is said to be the x bar. this value said to be the x bar. Understood? So, x bar is nothing but mean, and that value is nothing but summation of all the values given by the number of the samples, that is 5 here in this case. So, 23 divided by 5 after summation it is 4.6. Okay. Now, that is the central tendency. Central tendency means what is that? It is the center point after summation of all those, we get the center level, that is what is called as the mean value. Now, the second one, range, difference between largest or smallest observation in a set of data. Difference between largest or smallest observation in a set of data. What does that mean? The as given in the previous one only 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Difference between the largest and the smallest observation. Which is the largest value here? The 6 is the largest value and 3 is the smallest value. Difference between the largest and the smallest, that is 6 minus 3 is equal to 3. That is what is range. That is what is range. Okay. Now, range is difference between the highest value, that is the largest value, right, largest value to the smallest observation is what is in a given set of data is what is called as the range as such. Now, next to the range, it is standard deviation, measures the amount of data dispersion around the mean, right, measures the amount of data dispersion around the mean. So, mean whatever we have calculated, that is from the mean, right, to what extent the whole data is been deviating individually, right. So, that is what is called as standard deviation. So, mean we have identified. Once we have identified the mean, from the mean what is the deviation of the overall data is what we identify in the standard deviation. Okay? Right. Now, so as coming to the mean, first one, to compute the mean, we simply sum all the observations and divide by the total number of observations. Now, as I said 3, right, as I said 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. This is how much? 23. Now, that is the summation. These are x values, okay, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, right. Now, summation is 23. In this summation, after we have summed it, we need to divide it by the n value. What is that? 5 is equal to how much? 4.6. Now, this 4.6 is what? X bar is equal to 4.6. X bar is equal to 4.6. X bar is the mean, xi is the observation 1 till the n. According to here, the observation here is 5 and the number of observations becomes 5. So, we have divided the summation, that is 23 divided by n value, and that n value summation is been divided by, and what the value we are getting? We are getting 4.6. All right. Next, the range. As we have seen the previously, in this range, which is the difference between the largest and the smallest observation. So, we have taken the example in the previous, that 3, 2, right, 4, 5, 5, 6 only, but here we are having also 7 and 9, assume it. Now, the 3 is the lowest value, 3 is the lowest value and 9 is the highest value. Difference between this, right, that is 9 minus 3, right. So, 9 minus 3 is equal to 6. Now, this is what is the range, that is highest value minus lowest value, highest value minus lowest value, which is equal to range. Okay. Now, next to range, it is standard deviation. So, standard deviation is what? Standard deviation is a measure of the dispersion of a curve, right. It measures the extent to which these values are scattered around the central mean, around the central mean, as we have seen in the previous case, right, as we have seen in the previous case, that is 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Total summation is equal to 23, right. Now, summation 23 divided by n is equal to how much? 5. Then the value is equal to 4.6, that is the value. Okay. So, 4.6 the value which we have come, right, we have identified, that is the x bar, right, that is the x bar as such, right. Now, that is the x bar. So, after we have found out the x bar, we need to find out this, right. So, what we do? X summation of those we have need to do, that is xi is how much? 3 minus x bar 4.6, right, the whole square, right, divided by n minus 1. Okay. Now, what is this? We are supposed to identify all those values, we are supposed to identify all those values. So, after identifying, right, for example, right. So, after identifying, for example, 4.6 is what we have got the value, 4.6 is the value what we have got. Now, here we are doing the summation of what? We have got the first one, 3, we have got no 3 minus 4.6 is equal to how much? Right, 1.6, like that. Next 4 minus 4.6, how much? 0.6, again 4, right, that is 4.6, right, is equal to 0.6, again 5, that is 4.6 minus, right, we will get minus 0.4. Now, after we have done the summation of all this value, then we will get that particular summation of this is nothing but x minus this is nothing but x minus x bar, right. We are doing here xi minus x bar we are identifying. After doing for all the 5, we find out the total summation, and that summation should be divided by n minus 1, n is nothing but 5 in this case. So, that value we would be having the standard deviation, root of that will be the standard deviation as such. Okay. We will go through when these problems are being solved out. Now, so we are supposed to see 3 parameters, one statistical, the first one is the descriptive statistics, second one is the statistical process control, and the third one is acceptance sampling. Now, under the descriptive statistics, we would have a recollection, we need to see the 3 parameters, that is mean we need to understand, we need to understand the range, and we need to understand the standard deviation, because these 3 are mostly applied in the process of statistical quality control. Now, under the statistical process control, extend the use of descriptive statistics to monitor the quality of the product and the process, that is the first one. Clear? Now, this descriptive statistics is applied, right? This descriptive statistics is applied where to monitor the quality of the product and the process, is applied to monitor the quality of the product and process. Next to that, the statistical process control help to determine the amount of variation, because while products are produced in an organization, every product will not be produced as per the defined quality. Some products deviate from the quality which is been defined. Some may get a deviation to higher level, some may get deviation to lower level, but definitely there will be a deviation. Now, that deviations are supposed to be eliminated by having a better control of the process. That is why the statistical process control helps out in terms of maintaining more better quality, right, process. Next to that, to make sure that the process is in state of control, and also statistical process control mentions or measures to see that the process which is we are been using or which we are through which we are producing the product is under the control, because manually checking of all the products cannot be feasible. So, because of the manual process of checking becomes difficult, we would not be able to have the better control if we are doing manually. So, because of that particular reason, the descriptive statistics are applied, and by which we make the system connected to descriptive statistics and check the process regularly and see that the limits are been not deviated. Now, we will see the limits how it would be, right, in the next slides as such. So, why control in the limit? Because as said, the control in limit, if there are limits, control limit, upper control limit and lower control limit, these are the limits. In this central limit, always producing the product, see, always producing the product in this limit is very difficult, right? Always producing the product in the central limit, exact quality what is required, producing the product in that same limit cannot be possible. There will be a deviation with related to quality. Now, the deviation of quality also has to be limited. Now, the deviation of quality has been limited on the higher side, which is called as upper control limit, and on the lower side, which is called as the lower control limit. Beyond this, right, beyond this, the control is being deviated. Beyond this, right, beyond this, control does not exist, right, control does not happen. Very good. Control doesn't happen, does not happens, very good. That means it is deviating beyond this. So, beyond this and similarly below this, if the product is been reflecting in terms of quality above that level or below that level, then it refers that we are being in the process of away from the control limits as such, which is we can say that the process, right. For example, this is the production which has been happening continuously. We can say that the process is not in the control when the product is being away from the upper control limit and below from the lower control limit. Now, no two items are exactly alike. The variations in quality, why we are very much concentrating the variations in the quality is because if I am producing one product, right, if I am producing one product here, the same product cannot be produced similarly, right? The same product cannot be produced similarly. That means one product will not be having the same exact similarity to the other product. There will be minute differences. There will be minute differences. That minute differences is what is called as variations. That minute difference is what is called as variations. And that variations according to the quality perspective is called as variation in quality, right? That variation according to the quality perspective is called as variation in quality. Now, some sort of variations in the two items is bound to be there. In fact, it is an integral part of any manufacturing process. That means, all the quality parameters are integral part of the manufacturing process, okay? Manufacturing process. This difference in characteristics is known as variances. So, the difference in characteristics, for example, one product here, one product here and one product here, whatever the differences is there between this and this is what is called as the variations, and definitely this variance will be there, definitely these variations will be there, okay. Now, coming to the next one, this variation may be due to substandard quality, meaning is that quality is not been ensured completely, quality is been not ensured completely, or reason is that because of the raw material quality or carelessness from the employees while doing the job process, or the part of the operator whoever has been making the operation process, or it may be a fault in the machinery system, or it may be a fault in the machinery system. So, ultimately the variation is because either the quality of the raw material, the carelessness of the employees, operator who has been operating the whole operation, or else the machinery which are in the fault level. Because of that, the errors may have a deviation. That means the variations, because of this the variations would have been attained as such, okay. Now, so I hope you would have understood about the variation in the quality. The main important, one item cannot be produced as similar as to the same, that is no two items are exactly alike, there will be some minute level of differences at least, that is what is being expected, right. Now, next to that, types of variations. So, previously we have seen that variation, what is that? No two items are exactly alike, and what kind of variations may be, right. Now, types of variation. There are variations because of two parameter. One, it is the chances and it is the assignable as such. One, it is chance, and the second one it is assignable. That means, because of the chance there is a variation, or because of the assignable there is a variation, right. These are the two reasons why the variations would have been caused. Assignable is what? Now, the defects would have been caused because of the machineries, right. The defects would have been caused because of the what expected level of the quality we require, that is what we have assigned, and based upon that expectation there may be a deviation in the quality, that is what is the assignable causes. Whereas chances, it is not under our control. Chance cause is mostly not in our control. It is basically and due to some peculiar reasons, right, or peculiar reasons which cannot be the progress under the control. For example, sudden failure of a machinery, right. Sudden failure of a machinery will lead towards the quality of the product being dropped suddenly because of the failure of the machinery. Now, that comes under the chances, whereas assignable can be made a modification, can be corrected, where the whole system is running without any the whole system is running the way we are being expected. So, once the way we have been expected, if the system runs, then the whatever the causes could happen, all those causes are being called as assignable cause, and those causes can be minimized. Whereas, in case of chance cause, the ability of reducing the causes may not be avoided, but by monitoring that particular causes can be stopped for the further production. Right. Now, example, in case of the chances, variation occurred due to chance. The variation is not due to a defect in the machine, as I said, it is not due to defect in the machine nor in the raw material or any other factors. Behave in a random manner, negligible but inevitable. The process is said to be under the state of statistical control. So, what we understand? Occurred due to the chances. The variation has been occurred due to the chances, whatever it may be, we cannot avoid this. It is neither because of the failure, the defect in the machine, or it is defect in the raw material, or it is defect in the some other process as such, where it has become by a chance, where it has happened because of a chance which cannot be avoided, But in case of the previous one, that is the assignable one, right, the assignable one, non-random causes like difference in the quality of raw material, right, that is once we have assigned the complete process, that means we have understood the whole process. After understanding the whole process, the raw material defect, it may be the reason for the variation, difference in the machinery, it could be the reason, difference in the operators, it could be the reason, or difference of the time could be the reason for variation due to the assignable cause, right. So, under the chance cause, there is nothing connected to this factors, and there is no possibility of avoiding the chance causes, but assignable causes which could be eliminated by having a good system of monitoring or process as such, by having a check on a raw material, having a check on machineries, having the check on the operators, and having the time consciousness of what to be done. Okay. Next, this are the right. Now, this limits, right, this is what is called as the limit, variation due to the assignable causes because of this and this, which are beyond the limits, which cannot be controlled, or which cannot be, which has to be eliminated. So, as I said that, suppose if I take the central one, this is the central limit, this is the upper control limit, and this is the lower control limit, right. This is the control limit, say central limit, upper control limit, lower control limit. So, the products which are been identified here beyond this, right, beyond this particular limit is what is called due to the variation due to the assignable causes, and similarly the products which are below this are also called as the reason is because assignable causes. Now, all these products which are under this are variation due to normal causes, So, above this level, that means above this level, it is because of the assignable causes, and below this level is also because of assignable causes. Now, other than this, right, wherever the defects are been happening, now those will be coming under the chance causes. Which are not at all in our control. Now, this assignable cause can be under our control. This assignable causes, by regular monitoring of the system, by regular check of the system, we can eliminate or reduce that causes by having a regular check on the system process, right. Understood? All right. Now, specification and control limits. No item in the world can be a true copy of another item. As said, the exact making of a similar product which is been available cannot be done. That is one point we need to understand. It is not expressed in absolute value, but in terms of range. That means we can, right, we can make a similarity of the product. We can make the similarity of the product in that range. That range is nothing but between UCL and LCL. That means this is what is called as range. Now, this is what is called as range, that is this level and this level is what is called as range. So, it is under the UCL and the LCL as such. So, in these two limits we have the products manufactured we have within that limits as such. That means exact level cannot be produced, but it would be produced within those limits as such. Okay. For example, the diameter of a pen is expected by its manufacturer not as 7 mm, but now this is what is the central limit. I have a central limit. Now, central limit is what I take as an 7 mm, and right, the upper control limit is what 7 mm plus right 0.05, and the lower control limit is 7 mm. Right. So, in continuation we would understand the range is from 6.95 to 7.05. Okay. Right. Now, to understand the control limits, what we are been how we have been setting the control limits. So, this the upper control limit is been defined here. This is the upper control limit and this is the lower control limit. Now, the central one CL, that is called as a central limit, which is called as the mean, central limit which is called as the mean. Now, if this mean I would take as the value, so as per the diagram, that is the when the curve is been represented, the mu curve is been represented in this format, right. The mu curve is been represented in this format. This is what is called as the 3 sigma level, right, and the next level is what is called as the 2 sigma level, and the first level is what is called as the 1 sigma level. That is what is this. So, the 1 sigma is how much? 68%, and the 2 sigma level is what? Means this one, right, the next one, next category to here, that is how much? 95%, and the next one, it is the third one. So, here to here, that is how much? It is 99.7%. This is the limit. So, whatever I have the limit, I should have the control under which area? I should have the control under the positive side. See, from here to here, that is the UCL to LCL. It is been between the 3 sigma, that is 3 sigma positive and the negative. 3 sigma positive and negative side, we need to have the control. That is what we have this UCL and the LCL limits as such, right. Now, how this control limits are being used, the mode or method of usage of the control limits. Now, the mode and method of the usage of the control limits. See, as said, these are the limits, right, as said these are the limits, UCL and LCL and CL. Now, these are the products, manufactured products, these are the manufactured products. Now, these are within the range, these are within the range of which one? These are within the range of UCL and LCL. These are within the range of UCL and LCL, which one? All these 5 products, whereas only this product is away of the control. That means, it is beyond the limit of UCL, and also if it is below the limit of UCL, observation out of control. That means, it is not under the limit what we call as a 3 sigma limit, right, plus or minus 3 sigma limit. now which we are supposed to reject that particular product, that which we are supposed to reject that particular product. That is what we have an observation. Now, this observation is what is useful through the process what we call as the control limits. Okay? Right. Now, the statistical process control methods and the control charts. Now, control charts are being used by or being applied by the three limits which is called as the central limit, upper control limit and lower control limit, by which we actually draw the diagrammatic representation. Control chart for variables, control chart for, there are two types of control chart. One, it is control chart for variables and the second one is control chart for attributes, right. So, two types of charts. First one, it is variable charts. Second one, it is attributes chart. Right. Now, under the variable chart, right, under the variable chart, we have R chart and X bar chart. We have R chart and X bar chart, and under the attribute chart, we have C chart and P chart. Okay. We have C chart and the P chart. Now, here in case of the R chart and X bar chart, we have a variable which is measurable. The one which can be measured is applicable in case of R and X bar chart, whereas we can say that it is an quantitative. Right. We can say that it is a quantitative. Here, this is of qualitative. Right. Here, it is of qualitative. That means, we can see that the characteristics that have a discrete values and can be counted. Example, percentage of defective number of flaws or number of broken. That means, more attribute is more with related to qualitative measures and variables is more about quantitative measures. Okay. So, as per the chart which we have in our syllabus, we have the four types of charts for our syllabus, that is R chart, X bar chart and C chart and P chart. R chart and X bar charts are control charts for variables, C chart and P chart are control charts for attributes. Okay. Right. Now, this